When using the built-in plot function, we can label several things on the axes within the figure window. We can put a title for our plot at the top of the window. We can label the horizontal axis or the x-axis. We can also label the vertical axis or the y-axis. And finally, we can put a legend on our plot to label each of the functions being drawn. So let's take a look at labeling the axes when using the built-in plot function. Here I'm going to demonstrate how to label the axes of a plot within a figure window. I created this script in a previous video about customizing the line specifications. Currently, when I run this script, it opens up a new figure window and plots the relationship on a two-dimensional axis between the variables x and y. In this video, what we're going to do is label different parts of our axes, beginning with the label for our horizontal axis or our x-axis. Then we'll look at our vertical axis, put a label over here for our y-axis. We'll add a title to the top of the figure and a legend within the figure to label the line. So let's begin with labeling that horizontal axis. We have a built-in function for this. It's called xLabel. In the parentheses, we're going to put in a string. Now we can pick whatever string we want. This is text that we'll put along the bottom of the horizontal axis. Many times when we're working with audio as an example, we're going to have units of time here. So I'm going to just type this in, even put parentheses, say that this is time in seconds. So we'll add in our second single quotation to make this a string, then close the parentheses off, put a semicolon on the end. Now we can run the script and see that along the x-axis, we've now added this label for time in seconds. There's a similar function that we can use now for the vertical axis called the y-label. Now with audio, it's common that we're going to be comparing amplitude. So I'll put in as a string the word amplitude. We can run this script and look, we have now displayed that we are plotting amplitude versus a time in seconds. Next, let's add the title to the top. So our built-in function here is called title. Again, this is another string that we put in here. We'll call this our signal waveform. So now we can run the script. We have now added our title to the top to label our figure. The last thing we'll do is put a legend in here to label this specific line. So our built-in function is called legend, and again, it takes a string. So we'll call this signal 1. Again, single quotations and parentheses. Run the script and look at the result. Here, a legend is now displayed on the figure, including the name for this, in this case, of the signal, and also to go along with the type of line. This is a dashed red line. This legend, if necessary, can be moved to different locations in the figure to get out of the way of whatever lines being drawn. So those are several things about labeling the axes: the horizontal or x-axis, the y or vertical axis, the title, and the legend.